New York Yankees baseball is brought to you by New Miller Beer, the brand new beer from Miller with big flavor that goes down easy. By the Money Store, where you can refinance your home and consolidate your bills with just one phone call. By Hertz, for business, for pleasure. Nobody does it exactly like Hertz. And by Nobody Beats the Whiz, for state-of-the-art home electronics, computers, cameras, music, movies, and more. Nobody beats the Whiz. And it is a beautiful day in Northern California at this brand new completed Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. Ariel Prieto getting ready to take his warm-up pitches right now. And of course, everybody waiting for the return of David Cone. For the New York Yankees, here's your lineup. Jeter starting off. You see Charlie Hayes still playing third base. Boggs says he'll probably play tomorrow. Fielder back at the DH spot. Strawberry in left field. Girardi is going to be catching David Cone. For the Oakland A's, Jason Giambi in left, Jason Kerwin Moore, the kid, in center, Herrera in right, Steinbach, Maguire, Batista, Bordick at short, and Scott Brocious at third base. Ariel Prieto, who's pitched very, very well 3 complete games in his last 4 starts. He's on the mound.
All right, we're about ready to get underway. The Yankees playing their 8th game of this 10-game road trip. And Derek Jeter will lead it off for the Yankees, followed by Bernie Williams and Paul O'Neill. And the first pitch from Prieto, lined hard into right field, but moving back is Herrera to make the catch, and there's one gone. As the game progresses, we will continue to tell you about this brand new Oakland Coliseum. It is totally different from anything that you and I have seen here in Oakland as they prepare it for football. The Oakland Raiders coming back to Oakland.
Look at that upper deck. That is so high. People sitting up there have binoculars all the time. That is really up there.
And brand new dimensions for baseball here in Oakland. One gone, and Bernie Williams steps in. Bernie batting .298, 24 home runs, 80 RBIs. Strike one from Prieto. Ariel Prieto is 26 years old, comes from Havana, Cuba. As we take a look at Bernie's numbers, that'll leave the count up at 1-1. Prieto was Oakland's first-round selection and the 5th picked overall in the June of 1995 draft. A young man who's had a pretty good career. His win-loss record doesn't really reflect it. Last year, Prieto had a chance to pitch here in Oakland, was 2-6. A little 4-point ERA. But he's a part of this new regime for this Oakland ball club. You'll hear some names today that you haven't heard before, but it's all in the process of rebuilding an organization and a franchise.
Bobby, since Prieto has come off the DL, he's got an ERA of about 2. He's just been tremendous. Sandy Alderson sent him down to the minor leagues for about 30 days to show him the difference between playing in the minor leagues and playing in the major leagues. And since he's come back, he has absolutely been spectacular, throwing strikes mostly.
That's certainly a key to a big league pitcher, and his success is being able to throw the ball over for a called strike. That pitch outside. Now the count goes to 3-2 on Bernie with one gone here in the top of the first inning. No score. The Yankees and the Oakland A's begin a 3-game series with Paul O'Neill on deck. The Yankees lead this series against Oakland 7-2, winning 4 of 6 in Yankee Stadium, and it's sweeping out here in Oakland. Hard shot right to Maguire. He'll take it himself, and 2 gone. Bernie hit it hard, but the old atom ball got him.
And that's one of those breaking pitches last year, Bobby, that a Prieto would not have gotten over the plate, and Bernie just lines it right over there to Maguire, who takes him by himself. So immediately you can see a difference in Prieto between this year and last year.
With 2 gone, Paul O'Neill steps in. Paul batting .300. 15 home runs, 77 RBIs. Quite a story, this Prieto kid. Strike one to Paul. As we mentioned, Oakland's first-round pick. And comes from Havana, Cuba. and was a member of the Cuban national team for 5 years, from 1990 through 1994. That pitch foul back and out of play. And he set the national team record for strikeouts in one game when he fanned 20 in a Nicaraguan contest back in 1990.
He's really one of the first defectors that we've seen really make it to the major leagues and stay here.
O'Neill did not go around, so the count goes to 1-2. One thing here about the Coliseum, from a hitter standpoint, there is a lot of foul territory. So if you pop the ball up, the stadium is not that close to the field, and there's a lot of room for the fielders to camp under it. That evens the count up at 2-2.
You know, it also looks different. It's now 362 into the power alleys. You can see all that foul territory there, but those power alleys aren't that deep. 362 is not that far away.
Especially with the type of baseball that they're hitting today. And O'Neill goes around on a split-fingered fastball as O'Neill strikes out. The Yankees are gone here in the top of the first inning. So no score as David Cone comes to the mound for the Yankees. He'll be facing the A's here in the bottom of the first.
Toyota's Nation.
Well, back at Oakland at the Coliseum as David Cone takes his warm-up tosses. And what a day it's going to be for Cone and the New York Yankees. It all started back on April the 27th when Cone underwent an angiogram which determined a circulatory problem. And then successful surgery was performed on May the 10th at Columbia Presbyterian Medical Center. And here we are after rehab at Norwich, Connecticut for a couple of games. David Cone is back with the Yankees. Some say it's a miracle. And David Cone is really happy and almost like a newborn rookie out there on the mound.
It's an amazing story, and of course anybody that knows David Cone thought that this day was going to come, but you just saw Derek Jeter go over and give him a little hit there. Wish him good luck.
Jose Herrera leads it off for Oakland, and the first pitch from Cone is down low for a ball. This is a very powerful ball club that Cone will be facing this afternoon. They lead the major leagues with home runs. And that fastball just missing outside, so Cone falls behind Herrera 2-0. I mentioned the home run power. 219 home runs this ball club has as a team. And they're on their way to a record franchise here in Oakland. That pitch misses inside. Ball 3-0. Probably with the excitement that's going on with Cone right now, he will overthrow a little bit. And it'll take him a while to settle down and pitch his type of game that you normally see from Cone. So that pitch in there for a call strike. Second, that pitch was down low. It looked like the umpire behind home plate, Evans, raised his right arm, but 4 pitches, 4 balls from Cone as Stottlemyre looks on. So Cone walks his first batter. And that'll bring up Tony Bautista. So Cone will get a chance to turn around and now pitch from the stretch.
Bautista very young, only 22 years old. Actually a shortstop, but they've moved him over to second base because they've got Bordick.
And that pitch misses way up high. So 5 pitches from David Cone and has yet to throw a strike. Bautista batting .283, 4 home runs and 13 RBIs. In these situations, when you come back and all eyes are on you, your legs are a little bit wobbly, a little bit jelly filled, and the excitement is overwhelming. And your adrenaline is really flowing, and you begin to overthrow a little bit.
And I think maybe throwing over to first, because this team, there's nobody on this team that has more than 10 stolen bases. So maybe David's trying to throw over there, just calm himself down a little bit.
And the first strike after 6 pitches. And it appeared, obviously, that the Oakland A's was going to make him throw a strike before they swing the bat. So now that he's found the strike zone, we'll see what happens after this. Another throw to first base.
Bautista's usually a pretty free swinger, doesn't walk a lot, strikes out a lot, very young, just learning.
little check swing tapper foul around the home plate area. So David Cone now working in front 1-2. Cone is on a 100 pitch count today. He won't throw over 100 pitches in today's ball game. Obviously, he'd like to get through those 100 pitches with a lead in the 5th inning.
He had thought maybe he could go 5 or 6 with 100 pitches.
Talking to him before today's ball game and asking him about those 100 pitches, he says, well, I hope they are at least 80% quality pitches. So he wants to throw at least 80 out of the 100 that'll be quality pitches. Beautiful pitch on the outside corner. David Cone records his first strikeout of the game. Tony Bautista walks back to the Oakland bench. That'll bring up Jason Giambi.
Right on the outside corner of the plate, really froze Bautista. And Bobby, that's really got to make him feel good, calm him down a little bit. You know, everyone was fooling around calling him the savior, but he heard it. He understands what everybody's counting on him for here.
So Giambi will step in. One gone, one man on here in Oakland. Giambi batting .308, 20 home runs, 75 RBIs, as Cone once again chases Herrera back. Maybe more of a relaxing throw over there than
you don't want to waste those pitches throwing over to first base if he's on a 100 pitch count.
And there goes Herrera. Girardi's throw is in time. A beautiful throw by Joe Girardi. I mean, it was a perfect throw to nail Herrera at second base.
And there's the difference also in having David Cone on the mound and some of the other pitches here where the release is a little bit faster, and Girardi actually had time to go and get that. Herrera going all the way. Girardi gets the ball, and a perfect throw to Jeter, who applies the tag.
So Herrera is gone. Nobody on. 2 men out now. Off-speed pitch missing outside. Now it's 2-0 to Giambi. Mark McGwire on deck for the Oakland A's. No score here in the first inning. Beautiful day for baseball. Sunshine, no clouds. And another pitch missing outside, and the count goes to 3-0. So here in the first inning, obviously Cone struggling for the strike zone, and has pitched behind in the count to the first 3 batters. And he walks his second man as Giambi will trot down to first base, and that'll bring up Mark McGwire. Well, everybody knows the numbers that Mark McGwire has put up this year, and Joe Torre and all the Yankee brass looking on.
McGwire just having a tremendous year. The 46 home runs, that's now 3rd on the all-time A list. Between he himself had 49, and I guess Reggie is right behind him with 47.
And the breaking ball he starts McGwire off with is in there for a called strike. Along with those 46 home runs for McGwire, you can see he's batting .324 with 95 RBIs. McGwire leads the American League in home runs. And a swing and a miss on another breaking ball. So now Cone working in front 0-2.
You can see him.
Maybe Cone just needs a little challenge.
I think so. Right on the outside of the plate. You look, he's staying away from McGwire. McGwire really gets fooled by that and goes right after it.
Way outside with the breaking ball. So the count to McGwire 1-2. And the thing you got to be concerned with, obviously, if you're working yourself back, is your arm strength. Hopefully you don't pull any muscles. Another breaking ball outside. That'll leave the count up at 2-2. But the most important thing is to, you know, have a quality start, but you know that the arm strength is not there, and that's the one thing you want to see build up as you continue on with your rehab. And only 83 pitches in his last outing in Norwich, Connecticut. As McGwire pops this one up, I mean, a major league pop-up with a high sky, it won't be easy. Girardi is there, and he somehow comes down with it. Boy, when that ball goes up today, you need a lot of help. High sky, but David Cone finishes his first inning on his comeback. No score between the A's and the Yankees.
never tough.
Well, back at Oakland as we go to the second inning, but this is the first inning and Cohn's comeback as he strikes out Tony Bautista. A good pitch, and obviously a lot of glad handing in the Yankee dugout with David Cohn back in uniform and pitching in a regular season game.
Okay, you got through the first inning. Relax.
And Cecil Fielder leads it off for the Yankees here in the top of the second inning. Strike one to Cecil. Cecil batting .251, 32 home runs, 98 RBIs. Inside for a ball, 1-1. Cecil 0 for 2 with a couple of walks yesterday against Finley and the California Angels, and is hitless in his last 11 ABs. Cecil has been bothered by a sore left shoulder and has taken a cortisone shot to try to relieve some of the pain, and I mean, he hit a bullet right to the shortstop, Boarding. And the Oakland A's put 3 men on the left side, so good at bat for Cecil that time. He just hit it right to the shortstop.
It's ground ball right to Bordick, and he doesn't miss those at all. Right over to McGuire for the out. Bordick, one of these sure-handed shortstops. He actually was Tony La Russa's very favorite player that he ever managed, he said.
Of course, Tony La Russa no longer with the Oakland A's. His career ended here, and a fine career that he had. He's now with the St. Louis Cardinals. Is Art Howe, the new skipper, along with the new management and new ownership in Oakland.
It's really strange to walk into that clubhouse and Tony's not there and Dave Duncan's not there. Art Howe's done a tremendous job with this team. They're expected to be a terrible team, playing very well, particularly lately.
And Martinez, 1 ball, 1 strike count to Tino. Prieto, one of those young pitchers, along with Art Howe, the new skipper.
Very different kind of managerial tactics by Howe. Very patient, very quiet.
High fly ball, but not deep enough in the left field. Giambi finding that sun, and it's high sky today, and maybe the high sky and the sun, the bright sunshine, may play a role in today's ball game. I hope not, but Art Howe looks on with his sunglasses on.
Gorgeous day today. Not a cloud in the sky. 70 degrees. A lot different from where we were a couple of days ago, huh?
Well, all you have to do is drive across that Bay Bridge into San Francisco. The temperature and the whole day changes overnight, like night and day.
You know all about that,
oh,
don't
do
you?
I ever. Don't start me on that play. As Strawberry swings, fouls the first pitch back and out of play.
All those nights at Candlestick wrapped around with those coats.
Strawberry batting .276, 10 home runs, 31 RBIs. 1-1 to count to the straw man.
It's different over here, right? It's a little warmer in Oakland.
It is much different. It's beautiful over here on this side, which is called the East Bay, and even on beyond left field, beyond those hills over there in Walnut Creek, Alamo, etc. It's even probably 10, 15, 20 degrees warmer beyond those hills. Now, once you start from there back towards San Francisco, the temperature may drop 40 degrees with a 30-mile-an-hour wind. Strawberry went around, so it's a 2-ball, 2-strike count to the straw man.
So you're saying the same guy that gave Bob Watson, Pat Listash, sold the Giants that place on the water? I'm sorry.
No, I don't think so. But Sal Bando did play here. Strawberry looks at a fastball right down Broadway, obviously looking for something else as the Yankees are gone here in the top of the second inning. We played 1.5 here in Oakland. No score.
Let's take a look at the Delta upcoming schedule, brought to you by the American Express Delta Sky Miles credit card. Tomorrow, 10 o'clock right here on WPIX, 10:30 Wednesday here at Oakland again on MSG, and then the weekend series with the Toronto Blue Jays all on MSG.
Baroja leads it off for the A's here in the second inning, and Cone misses outside for a ball. Baroja, .287 batter, 35 home runs, 92 RBIs. Lines one into center field. Bernie on the run and right in front of the warning track, catches up with it. Nice play for Bernie. Only chance for Williams on that play was to get a good jump on the ball, and he saw it nicely off the bat.
Bernie really plays this one very well, and it's the first time in a long time we haven't seen Geronimo Baroa either on the base paths or hitting one out of here. He is an absolute Yankee killer. Lifetime, Bobby. Hits .333 with 12 homers and 36 ribby.
Scott Brocious bats. And a good fastball catches the outside corner, strike one. Now David Cone seems to be settling down after that first inning when Cone walked 2 of the 4 men that he faced. Had a little trouble finding the strike zone. Good breaking ball swung on to miss, strike 2. Now Tony working in front of Brocious, 0-2.
Brocious having a terrific year. Brocious played every position for Tony La Russa, really fooled on that pitch on the outside part of the plate. Now really has found a home here with Art Howe. Plays just about every day.
This is outside. Of course, when you know David Cone and his personality, the makeup that he had, you just had to figure that if everything went halfway right, that Cone would be back pitching for the Yankees before this season was over with. And obviously the aneurysm is a very serious situation. And if you just go back and look at May the 2nd, and that's when he had the aneurysm. Right. He pitched a complete game against the Chicago White Sox, and he won that ball game as he gave up only 1 run in 5 base hits. Popped up behind home plate, and Girardi once again fighting that high sky. And believe me, ladies and gentlemen, that is not an easy play, and it's a lot harder for the catcher is to turn around and kind of twist his neck a little bit. But he's done a fine job in 2 tries so far. And
really, there is no cloud anywhere here at all. It's very, very bright. The glare is very big. You know, you're talking about David and what he pitched with that day against the Chicago White Sox. That shows you what this guy is made of. And he might have been a little nervous in the first inning, but he loves this kind of pressure. There are very few people that thrive on it the way David Cone does.
And Terry Steinbach takes a pitch on the outside corner for a called strike. One of the other pluses having David Cone back, he actually loosens the clubhouse up a bit. And the Yankees obviously have been playing some not good baseball here in the last couple of weeks, but they all had a smile on their face.
Well, one of the things that David said he hoped he could do, he told me that maybe I can make it kind of a residual effect. Maybe if I go out and pitch well, then the next guy, there will be some pressure taken off of him so that everybody doesn't take it on themselves. He said, I'll take the pressure. I don't mind it. I'm used to it.
Misses inside, 1-2 to Steinbach, who's also having a wonderful year for the A's. Swings and misses, strike 3. So Cone has struck out 2 in the ball game, and he mows down the A's here in the second. 1-2-3. We've played 2. No score.
The American Express road notes. Here are the remaining games. 2 here in Oakland, then 3 in Detroit, 4 in Toronto, and 4 big games with the Boston Red Sox at the end of the year. That could be very interesting.
Get me a ticket, will you?
That place is going to be jumping, isn't it?
You bet.
David Cone along with bench coach Don Zimmer.
And Charlie the Hitman Hayes leads it off for the Yankees here in the 3rd. High fly ball, foul territory over towards the first base side. And McGuire looks up into that sun and makes the play. 1 gone. That'll bring up Mariano Duncan.
Charlie thanking General Manager Bob Watson over and over and over for getting him out of Pittsburgh and bringing him in.
Well, he said he gained about 23 games in the standings.
Thank you, man. He kept going, thank you, man. I really mean it. Thank you, man.
And Charlie, what a debut he had. A couple of key base hits in California, drove in 3 runs. He was 0 for yesterday as the Yankees lost again to Chuck Finley. Mariano Duncan steps in with 1 gone. Strike 1 to Mariano.
Isn't it amazing with Finley? He's got an ERA of under .75 with the Yankees, but he's got an ERA of 4 for the rest of the league. So somebody's hitting him.
And I think he increased his record to the 500 mark by beating the Yankees. He was under pitching under 500, his win-loss record, until he beat the Yankees yesterday.
And he's beat them now 4 times this year?
At least.
Yeah, 4 times. So we'd be only out of 8 wins if it weren't for the Yankees.
2-1 the count to Duncan, talking about pitching, the A's had their consecutive shutout streak snapped yesterday. This is the Oakland A's pitching staff at 29 innings when Boston finally scored against them. Those 29 innings equal the third longest consecutive scoreless inning streak in Oakland history. Now, this is a young, up-and-coming staff.
And you've got Prieto and you've got Dave Tailgater, who we're going to see day after tomorrow, Don Wengert. There's young Willie Adams out of Stanford. I mean, this isn't Stewart, Bob Welch, no. Mike Moore.
On the ground towards the second base side is Bautista. Throws out Duncan, 2 gone. So you got to really be impressed if you're Art Howell in this Oakland organization with what the young pitching staff is doing. And then you take a look at the offense, and they're leading the major leagues with 219 home runs as a team and 105 home runs here at the Oakland Coliseum. Now, obviously, this stadium and the reconstruction of the stadium has proven to be more of a home run hitter's ballpark than what it was in the past.
Then the scoreless streaks by the pitchers have even been more impressive because they've been doing it here. 290. Look at this.
They keep a home run total out into left center field. Major league record of 240. They're in pursuit of that. As Girardi hits one past Grotius down the left field line, could be extra bases. Girardi will try for second. The throw is cut off. So Girardi with a 2-out double here in the third.
And that's something, Bobby, that you like to see out of this team now, and it's starting to happen again. Here's the pitch from Prieto. It's high. It hangs right there. Girardi hits it right down the line, never stops, goes right to second base, taking the extra base. That's something this team did the first couple of months of the year and kind of slowed down. Now they're back to it again.
So the Yankees picks up their first base hit. It took 9 guys to do it, as Prieto had sent down 8 Yankees in a row. Derek Jeter now gets a chance to bat for the second time with a man on at second. Jeter flied out to right field his first time up. He's 0 for 1. Prieto misses outside for a ball. Prieto only 26 years old. 6'3", 225 pounds. So he's no small guy. Foul back out of play. In fact, today, when they sign kids out of high school and college, they don't even look at them unless they're about 6'3", and normally they're about 6'5" on up. They're the biggest I've ever seen in my life.
They got a couple of them here. The kid Brian Lesher, who they brought up the other day, he's about 6'5". Willie Adams, one of the pitchers we just showed, he's a big guy.
I guess when they say, hey, big guy, they mean it, right?
Prieto, the A's were talking today. Prieto 0-3 in his 3 complete games with an ERA of about 2, but he's faced Roger Clemens and Chuck Finley. He faces everybody's #1 guy in today's base at David Cone.
2-1 to count on Derek. 2 gone. Girardi down at second. A little high and tight, so that'll loosen up Girardi at the plate. But he'll hit in front of the count, 3-1. Well, I want to wish my son a happy birthday today. He's celebrating his birthday back in New York. Son Todd. And he'll be given a party by my daughter who's in New York.
Oh, wow.
So she's going to give him a party this evening in New York. So if you see a bunch of young adults hanging around New York having a good time, that's probably going to be them.
Oh, that's great. Happy birthday, Todd.
Won't be calling me to get you out of a jam.
You're too far away.
But have a good time anyway. You know, a funny thing about it is 20 years ago, when I was playing for San Francisco, he had his 7th birthday party over at Candlestick Park. They all froze to death. They had to leave in about the 3rd
So they're staying in here. You're telling me your son is now 27?
27 years old.
How did that happen?
My wife took 11 kids over to Candlestick to celebrate the party. Jeter swings and misses, strikes out as Girardi is stranded at second base. So the Yankees do not score here in the 3rd inning. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Still no score here in Oakland. Well, Now listen to this. Tonight on Seinfeld, it's a night of crossed lines, star-crossed lovers, and even cross-dressers. Well, Jerry's crossed wires end with a love connection. Are the Costanzas calling it quits after all these years? Will Kramer's boys find a home? And will George discover the Cape Crusaders' true identity? See for yourself tonight on Seinfeld here on WB Channel 11. I mean, they got a lot going on tonight, man.
Well, Scooter will watch it, and then he'll call us and tell us what's going on.
He should be interested in a couple of parts of that.
I think you're
Bottom of the third inning as Kerwin Moore leads it off. Sends one high and deep into right field. Paul O'Neill looking up and on the warning track comes down with it. So Moore flies deep. One gone.
Kerwin Moore, one of those kids they just brought up from AAA a few days ago. Usually doesn't hit high fly balls like that. Leadoff type hitter. Looks like it's a tough sun out there for O'Neill.
It is a tough sun. I can guarantee you that with no clouds in the sky, what happens is that when the ball goes up, it has no background for it to bounce off of. So your perception is it looks like if you know what a golf ball looks like, if you throw it up in the air, high in the air, that's what a baseball will look like. Mike Bordick takes one outside. Bordick batting .225, 5 home runs, 45 RBIs, no score. Pops it up right side. Easy play for Tino Martinez. And he once again fights the sun, and 2 gone. So no doubt David Cone has settled down after the first inning. And Cone now has retired 6 in a row.
And Tino having trouble with the sun there. You know what you like to see now is that David is getting outs on 1 pitch, 2 pitches.
So the A's have now batted around against Cone, and Jose Herrera will bat for the second time. It was the first batter that Cone faced since coming back, and Jose Herrera threw 4 balls as Herrera walked. But it's a different story this time around. Herrera, a big swing and a miss, strike 1.
Herrera, only 23, 24 years old. Came over in the Ricky Henderson deal from Toronto. He's one of those tools guy. You know, he can do everything. Plays both left and right field for you.
Can he play the piano?
Probably. Good leadoff type hitter. Good leadoff hitter.
Cone out in front 0-2.
Like most youngsters, he looks like he's having problems picking up the breaking ball.
Foul off to the left side. One thing that I used to notice here at the Coliseum as Torrey and Stottlemyre obviously looking on and maybe counting the pitches that Cone has thrown so far through 2 2/3. And they're looking over their record books that they keep as a team and as individuals. Inside for a ball, 1-2. I call them reference notes. And you make your own personal notes about different things, different hitters, different ballparks, etc. Swing and a miss, strike 3. David Cone is certainly back as he strikes out his 3rd Oakland A's and is now set down 7 in a row. No score. They've gone through 3 here in Oakland.
We're back at the Oakland Coliseum. Here's today's trivia question. Only one player since Babe Ruth has led the American League in RBIs for 3 straight seasons. Can you name this active player? There's no score here as we go to the top of the 4th, and here's Rick Cerrone. Beautiful day here in Oakland.
Nice.
Isn't
I like
nice?
this new ballpark. I like what they've done with it.
How would you like to sit up on that upper deck, though?
That's nosebleed section. It's almost as bad as where they put the ESPN crew today.
Where are they?
They're way down. They got euchre seats today. I gave Buck Martinez a little ribbing. They said, boy, couldn't you guys do better than this booth? I said, yeah, well, you know.
Bernie Williams, Paul O'Neill, and Cecil Fielder for the Yankees here in the top of the 4th. No score. Ariel Prieto. Have you watched him? You've been watching him. He's terrific.
He's got a good
very
slider.
impressive, isn't he?
Very impressive for a guy who never really pitched in the minor leagues. Came right out of that independent league in the West Coast and signed the 5th pick by Oakland last year right to the big leagues.
We were talking before Art House sent him down to stay in the minors a little bit. There's a grounder over to second. Batista up with it over to McGuire, and Williams is retired. The A's think that about 30 days in the minor leagues really showed him the difference. This is the major leagues, this is the minor leagues, this is the major leagues, this is the minor leagues. Because since he's come back, he's just been tremendous.
I was talking to Ray Fossey, the announcer here, and he said, well, what he used to do warming up, he used to throw slow sliders. Just, you know, flip them up there, and then all of a sudden come into the ball game and expect to throw the real hard slider. And that's where he put that stress on his elbow. I mean, it wasn't like he was sent to the minor leagues.
No. Before he got.
Yeah, he was on a rehab.
Yeah, rehab.
But in other
words,
words,
kept him down there the full 30 days.
It was good thinking. In other words, he's down there. He's not really getting a good workout before he went to the mound. He was just lollipopping his breaking ball up there and then expected to throw a hard one in the game.
O'Neill struck out in the first inning. Little outside. 1-1 the count to O'Neill. There's no score here on top of the fourth. I'm talking before what our Howe has done with this young pitching staff. It's really amazing if you look at the names on this pitching staff and what they've been able to accomplish so far. There's a liner back up the middle that's fielded by Kerwin Moore in center, and O'Neill is on at first.
Well, that's a perfect approach by Paul O'Neill on a changeup away. If you try to pull that ball, you're going to pull it on the ground. He just took it right back up the middle. This is a great shot from home plate. Look at this little changeup on the outside part of the plate. Oh, man. It makes you realize how close a pitcher is to the batter. You just don't have time to react to that baseball off the bat.
That brings up Cecil Fielder. Cecil grounded a shortstop in his first at bat in the second inning. Cecil, as we said, having a little problem with that shoulder.
Well, I also think Susie's trying to hit 3- and 4-run homers with nobody on base. You can't do that. You just got to be yourself, play your own game. He's right now in a mire of an 0-for-8 slump, so just contribute what you normally do. Let's drive in some big runs for the Yankees.
There's a grounder over to Bordick. He'll take it himself to second. Over to McGuire, double play. And no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. At the end of 3.5, there's no score.
Welcome back to Oakland, 0-0 ball game. Let's take a look at the batting leaders brought to you by Heineken. And these are the AL hit leaders. Paul Molitor, you're supposed to be retired, out of the game at 40 years old. What are you doing? Only needs 18 more hits for 3,000 in his career. Alex Rodriguez, Lofton, Alomar, and Mo Vaughn. But Alex Rodriguez, too, with that 189 hits, came into today batting .376.
Bottom of the fourth inning, no score here. Tony Batista leads off for the Oakland A's. He struck out looking in the first inning. When you watch Cone, you've been sitting here watching. What do you see? You see him progressing. He's getting more back to being David Cone after that first inning.
First inning, just overthrowing, using his breaking ball more now for sure.
High pop up. It's in that sun again. It looks like Jeter's taking charge, and he gets it for the first out. Boy, this sun is giving everybody an awful lot of trouble.
You know, not just the sun, Susan. I know we always talk about the high sky with no clouds. It's hard to really pick up the ball. But the wind here, since they added that big section in center field, it's really a swirling wind. There's no way to tell which direction the ball is going to be carrying or what the wind is going to do to the ball. It is very difficult, and speaking to a lot of the Oakland players, they say that's been the biggest adjustment for them, handling the wind and the way it just circles inside the stadium.
Jason Giambi up for the second time. He walked in the first inning. Jason batting .308. Nice line drive hitter. Gets hurt a lot. 81 strikeouts, though, this year for him.
Now you see the good split finger from Cone. You know, he's got everything working for me. He's also
using everything,
yeah,
right?
He's dropping down against the right-hand hitters. Very compact delivery. See, real strong, long stride, and drives right through the target. A key for David today is the pitches, of course. That's why we're keeping a record of him. That's his 42nd pitch in the fourth inning. He's on about 100 pitch count.
2-1 the count to Giambi. A little inside and low. Ball 3, 3-1 the count. How many of those do you think were in the first inning? Because most of them were in that first inning. He had a very easy second inning and a very easy third inning.
Yeah, the first inning he was just pumped up. He wanted to do too much. Now he's settled in.
For the second time this afternoon, Giambi's on at first, and that, of course, brings up Mark McGwire. We were saying before that David just likes to challenge.
He likes this.
I know he does.
I mean, he thought he was going to be able to come back in September and work his way into shape. Well, things have changed since David's been away. And look at the size of Mark McGwire's arms. Every time I see him, they keep getting bigger and bigger. After a ball game, he's in the weight room pounding the weights.
He's having a tremendous year, batting .324, 46 homers. He was going for number 47 right there.
He just gets the bat through the hitting area quicker than most guys. Look at this. He sees the fastball. He just ties up his hands if you're David Cone. Don't let him really extend those arms on you.
Have you always been amazed at how quick his bat goes through the zone? Because he's such a big guy. There's a high pop-up. Bernie Williams seems to be underneath that one. Doesn't need to shade his eyes on this one. McGwire's out.
Well, McGwire's a guy that you cannot go to the concession stands because a lot of things happen in a hurry. You mentioned him getting through the hitting area quickly. That's the key to hitting home runs. It's not really how big and strong you are. It helps if you're strong, but it's bat speed. And he's got tremendous leverage because of his size.
And here comes Geronimo Baroa, one-man Yankee killer.
Yeah, 12 home runs in his career against the Yankees.
How about this year? 11 for 34, 3 homers and 5 RBIs this year. Kills this team. Batting .287, 35 homers, 92 RBI on the year. He flied out to Bernie in the second inning. Swing and a miss by Burrow. Very busy bat.
Well, yeah, you know what that is, Susan? And you know, you're reading my mind today. That's good. I like that. But what it is he's just, watch, see the shaking? All that does is loosens up his arms. He doesn't get real stiff and real tight. That's just his trigger mechanism. Every hitter has one.
0-2 the count on Baroa. No score here. Bottom of the fourth inning. Cone looks tremendous, doesn't he? That's the fourth strikeout for David Cone. No runs, no hits, no errors. One man left down base at the end of 4. There's no score.
Welcome back and take a look at David Cone. 49 pitches through 4 innings, 21 balls and 28 strikes. And they're kind of easy pitches.
Well, he looks like he's throwing very free, right?
Yeah, except for that first inning, he was just overthrowing a little bit.
Steve Donahue, assistant trainer, going over, checking him out. They're going to monitor him very, very closely. This isn't any panic move. This isn't something we need you here. Go do it and, you know, throw caution to the wind. Gina Martinez leads off here in the top of the 5th. It'll be Martinez, Strawberry, and Charlie Hayes against Ariel Prieto. Ball backing out of play. Martinez flew to left field to Giambi in the second inning. 0 for 1 for the afternoon. 0-2 count on him. Still want to know how many of those pitches were in that first inning. There were a lot there. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Outside for ball 1 as Prieto wastes one.
Yeah, pitch counts are something. If there's constantly men on base and you have to make real tough pitches with guys in scoring position, are a lot different than.
Martinez looks at a call, 3rd strike. That's the 4th strikeout for Prieto on the afternoon.
Now he goes to the good. That's almost a curveball. See, he gets a couple of different breaks on that slider. That one more had a downward action and just froze Martinez.
That'll bring up Darryl Strawberry. He struck out looking in the second inning. One of Prieto's 4 strikeouts on the afternoon. Came in batting .276, 10 homers, 31 RBI for Darryl. Looks at a call strike. Darryl's still bothered a little bit by that Achilles tendon. I think he's going to play with that, Rick, for the rest of the season. Just a question of how much pain it gives him.
Little shin splints.
It comes from he's got a problem with the Achilles tendon. There it is. And of the right foot, and I think that's what gives him the shin splints, because you try and compensate. Outside. And of course, also the shin splints. Remember, Darrell hasn't been used to playing the outfield for a long time.
The running back and forth on the outfield. And
Seattle didn't help anybody, all those games in the turf. 1-1 the count to Darrell.
I'll tell you, Prieto's impressed me. He's kept the ball out of the middle of the strike zone. Little fastball here, good slider, changeup. Toughest thing for him is that he hasn't really gotten a lot of run support when he's pitched.
We were talking about
that. I mean, it's unbelievable. And it's always a guy, and he says, well, I'm always pitching on the wrong day. Yeah, you're pitching against
Roger
Cone and Clemens.
Finley.
Yeah, they have something to do with it also.
1-2 the count to Darrell. Prieto's got a great rhythm going, too. He pitches very, very quickly.
And you have to step out against him. Guy like this that's settling in, make them pause a little bit. You see Darrell's right back in the box ready to go. When a pitcher has a good rhythm, try to do whatever you can. Grab some dirt, break up that rhythm if you can.
2-2 the count to Strawberry. It's a swing and a miss. Darrell's down for the second time on strikes. That's 5 strikeouts for Ariel Prieto, and he is very impressive.
Out of the middle of the plate, just teased him with the high fastball. With 2 strikes, a hitter's more apt to swing at bad pitches. See this ball? It looks good to hit, but you're not going to catch up to a 90-plus fastball up above the letters. Whereas if you maybe had a 2-0 count, you know, you're sitting looking for an area, you won't swing at that high pitch.
Charlie Hayes now at the plate with 2 down, 2 strikeouts for Prieto. Charlie fouled out to McGuire in the 3rd inning. He's 0 for 1. He takes the ball.
Charlie wanted to know if I was the PR director. No, that's the other Cerrone, the R squared.
1R and 2R, we call you. There's a high fly ball. Herrera going back. He camps under it. And that's it for the Yankees. Top of 4.5. There is no score here in Oakland.
New York Yankees baseball is brought to you by Heineken, true to the original recipe since 1886.
We're in the bottom of the 5th here at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum.
That's a mouthful. Oakland.
Oakland Coliseum.
There
Scott Brocious on the mound against David Cone. We were talking about the breakdown of the pitches, Rick. He threw 17 pitches in the 1st inning, 11 in the 2nd, 9 in that 3rd. That was his easiest inning, and 12 in that 4th inning.
And more importantly for David, it's the first pitch strikes. Working ahead in the count, 8 of the 14 batters, he's been able to get that first pitch called a strike.
You know, worried about his pitch count, worried about how he's throwing. He has given up a hit.
Are we supposed to be talking about that stuff? I mean, remember when they have no hitters going? You don't say that stuff. That's another thing that, I mean, just think about it. If it goes another inning or 2, you don't want to think about
people go nuts anyway. Well, 100 pitches,
geez.
take about. Scott Brocious popped up to Girardi in the 2nd inning. Brocious, one of these all-around players, does everything well. Terrific play. 30 years old now. He pops one up. Tino blocking his eyes once again, trying to get it. He gives way to Mariano Duncan, who takes it for the out.
Oh, okay, Susan. Here's the answer to today's trivia question. Only one player since Babe Ruth has led the American League in RBIs for 3 consecutive seasons. Can you name this active player? Well, you can just look in the Yankee dugout. It's Cecil Fielder, who was playing for the Tigers in 90, 91, and 92. You notice on there it said RBIs?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I know you have a little thing with that, RBI or RBIs.
Just because it's written doesn't mean it's correct.
That's, I like that. And a lot of times, Cecil, a lot of times those trivia questions and the answers we've been given, you know, sometimes they're not always 100% accurate either.
There's Cecil. Terry Steinbach out now. He struck out in the 2nd inning. Steinbach having a tremendous year. 31 homers, 90 RBI. He's a what do you call them? Mistake hitters. If someone makes a mistake, Terry will hit it out of the park.
He punishes you.
Not that time.
Not a mistake on that slider from down under from Cone.
That's the second time Steinbach struck out.
See
5.
the little different arm angle, Susan?
Yeah.
See, he just drops a little to the side. Look at this. I mean, now you just see his front hip. If we could see that one more time, you can really see his front hip just open up, and it's gone, and he has nothing left.
So Cone, who has 5 pitches, also has 3 or 4 different arm angles on those pitches.
Yeah, he's really got 2 types of fastball, 2 different types of breaking ball. One that he makes a little bigger sweep to it, a little shorter break. And then he's got the split finger. Toughest guy for me was, remember John Montefiusco?
Oh, sure, sure.
Well, he had like 7 different pitches. And I just only had 5 fingers. So I had a tough time with the count. I used to say, Count, go ahead, Count. You just throw whatever you want and I'll try to catch it.
Kerwin Moore up now. Kerwin Moore, not really a prospect, but they thought they'd take a look at him, and they sent Phil Plantier down. Bring up this kid, see what he's got.
That's that split finger, just looks like a fastball, and at the last minute drops out of the strike zone.
See, this is a kid who shouldn't be trying to hit balls up in the air. Takes it in. Another strong inning for David Cone. We are through 5 and there is no score. We're back in the top of the 6th inning. Cone and Prieto. There's Cone talking to Stottlemyre. What do you think they're talking about?
How he feels.
How do you feel?
And, you know, nice easy pitches going for Cone. Look, almost talking about maybe going over a certain hitter, and look at, he's talking about getting some action on his fastball. That's what you do if you're a pitching coach. Just really listen to what the pitcher has to say and offer some advice.
Top of the 6th inning here. There's no score. 2 hits on the board. Both of them belong to the New York Yankees. Mariano Duncan grounded to second base his last time up. Duncan batting .324.
The thing we didn't mention today is that Prieto's making his first appearance against the Yankees. You know, even though he's been in the big leagues almost 2 years, the Yankees have never faced him before. And that's a big advantage to a pitcher. I've said it over and over. If you, as a hitter, don't know what type of movement you have, a pitcher has on his fastball, how big a breaking ball does it have, almost the first couple of at-bats you give away because you're trying to feel out that pitcher.
1-2 the count to Mariano Duncan. There's a liner into right field. Herrera plays it on a hop, and Duncan's on at first base.
Still trying to test Mariano Duncan up in the strike zone. This guy does not miss a ball up in the strike zone. See Steinbach trying to go down. Look at that. I mean, he just goes right up to it.
And he drives it into right field every time.
It's a pretty swing. Really, if you want to learn how to hit line drives, kids out there, watch Mariano Duncan. He keeps the big part of the bat above the baseball all the time.
Girardi, one of the 2 hits this afternoon. He doubled in the 3rd inning.
And you might expect a little bunt here, get him in the scoring position if you're Torrey and the Yankees. See, Joe handles the bunt real well. You can also go hit and run with Girardi.
Broch is playing in on the grass at 3rd.
For Girardi, with the runner on first, you want the first baseman to field the ball. That's why Brochus can actually get some liberties and cheat a little bit in from 3rd base. But in this situation, you want the first baseman to field the bunt.
Duncan was going with that pitch. Girardi fouled it back. 1-1 the count.
Yeah, talked about how now if a pitcher falls behind the count, Torrey can change and go to the hit and run. You see Duncan, it's a hit and run because he's following the ball. See what Girardi does. Now you might go back to the bunt. See what a guy like Girardi gives Torrey options because he can handle that bat.
The lineup of the infield, outfield also playing straight away and not very deep for Girardi. 1-1 the count to Joe. Brocious in at third. Duncan at first. There's the bunt. Fouls it back.
Pretty good breaking ball. Tough pitch to bunt if you're a hitter. Normally you like to get that fastball to bunt. Ball down in the strike zone. You see Willie Randolph relaying the message from Torrey. Randolph takes it from Torrey, gets it, and then gives it back to Girardi.
All right, you got 1-2 count. A good contact hitter at the plate.
Now you're just on your. Now you're on your own. You let Girardi try to take a shot at that hole between first and second. Run's good. Tough to double up. He has to hit a ball on the nose to hit into a double play.
1-2 pitch. Girardi takes it outside.
See, Torrey, little signs to Randolph. Randolph will get him, and now Girardi takes him. Oh, I mean, there's communication going on every single pitch in a ball game.
2-2 the count to Joe Girardi. We're in the top of the sixth. There's no score. Prieto and Cone.
On the other side, in the other dugout, Art Howell's trying to control the running game. He's going to relay signs to Steinbach. When for his pitcher to throw over to first base. Actually, see Bob Cluck. Bob Cluck is going to give the signs. I mean, there's a lot of signs going on.
2-2 the count to Girardi. Duncan at first. There goes Duncan. Foul back.
See Duncan looking at Randolph. Girardi looking at Randolph. And there's Willie's.
This is great, isn't it?
You had Duncan going again, moving. Girardi just wanted to put, as a hit and run, what you try to do is just make the infielder field the ball. If you get a base hit, great. But try to keep it out of the air, keep it on the ground, advance the runner.
See, this is exactly the way they were playing earlier this year. We used to call it little ball, all these kinds of things. It really helps.
Manufacture some runs.
2-2 the count still to Girardi. Duncan at first. Throw over.
I mentioned about Bob Cluck, the pitching coach. His signs to Steinbach are not really calling the pitches. See, people back at home, they think sometimes they see a guy calling, you know, relaying signs to the catcher. You're not calling pitches.
Howell.
Howell's doing it, Cluck's doing it, everybody's doing it. But they're really trying to slow down the running game.
So liner through into center field. Girardi's on, and you got men on first and second with nobody out in the top of the order coming up. Also, with all these kinds of things going on, it takes a little focus off the batter and the.
Well, it slows down play, Susan. First of all, it'll slow down play. It also take the pitcher's concentration maybe a little bit away from the hitter. But that's a nice piece of hitting by Girardi, especially with 2 strikes.
And we'd been talking before how Prieto was getting into a nice rhythm, and you were saying step out of the box. That's another way to do it.
Well, the other way to do it is to get base runners on. Right. The game slows down. And now you talk about it as another bunt situation for Jeter. First and second. Now the third baseman, Brocious, was just giving the infield signs. He was just up a little bit before on the grass, letting the infielders know what play they have on.
He went
in this situation, excuse me, so you want the third baseman to field the bunt.
You see McGuire's playing in on the grass. Brocious in the grass at third.
And the reason that you want the third baseman to field it, because he has to come forward, leave his base, and the guy on second, Duncan, can go in easily.
Now look at Brocious. Brocious is watching Willie Randolph, who's giving the signs to Jeter.
Yeah, he's not that smart. Those signs are too tough to pick up.
1-0 to Jeter. Squares to bunt.
But you brought up a good point, Susan. It breaks the pitcher's tempo. We talked about what happens. Well, now he's focusing on so many different things. See, look, see Brocious, he's checking Willie out. Now he's
calling signs.
Yeah. And well, what kind of signs do the infielders have? Well, there's different bunt plays that you go over in spring training.
And meanwhile, all this has taken focus away from Prieto.
Exactly.
2-0 to Derek Jeter. There goes Duncan. There's a fly ball in the left field. Giambi over. Center fielder Kerwin Moore will take it. And there's one away.
Well, Torrey gambled. He went to the hit and run with Jeter. He just got a bad pitch up in the strike zone. Talked about on the hit and run, you want to put it on the ground. That time Jeter did not do his job. He got the ball in the air and was unable to advance the runners.
And that'll bring up Bernie Williams. He's 0 for 2 today.
See, that's a fastball 2-0. Jeter's swing there. It looks like he's trying to lift the ball. Hit and run situation, you want to put it on the ground if you can.
Duncan at second, Girardi at first, one away here in the top of the 6th. Bernie Williams at the plate. Bernie hitting .297 on the season, but only .255 from the left side. There's a grounder over to McGuire. He'll take it himself for the out. Runners move up, and there's 2 away.
Now, if Jeter had moved the runners along, it'd be a 1-0 ball game now. You would think the infield would have been back, conceding the 1 run, but instead now it'll take a 2-out hit from O'Neill.
O'Neill 1 for 2 on the afternoon, struck out in the 1st inning, singled to center in the 4th. Duncan at 3rd, Girardi at 2nd, Paul O'Neill at the plate.
And now bring out Art Howell out from the dugout with first base open, discuss the possibilities with Prieto.
Now, would he rather pitch to O'Neill or to Fielder?
Well, O'Neill's been swinging the hot bat. Fielder has not had a hit his last 13 times up. This is what you talk about. Right here, you want a manager to take control. One way or the other. You want him to just either say, okay, let's put him on or go after him. Don't try to pitch around him, because that's when you get burned. See what they've decided, Susan. This is I like this inning. I mean, it gives us time to talk about the different things that go on inside the game.
Well, you like to see both teams doing something.
Now, I think this is going to be the classic example of trying to pitch around Paul O'Neill. Lots of times pitchers get burned by this.
There's ball 1. Now, if you're going to pitch around him, why don't you just put him on?
Well, you hope a hitter. That's how I liked it. That's what I said. Either you put him on or you pitch to him. Don't try to pitch around them.
And I would think percentage-wise it isn't going to work. If you make a mistake to O'Neill, he'll smack it. And might as well just put him on.
That's how I always felt. But if you have a pitcher with decent control, you can get away with it sometimes.
1-0 pitch. There's 2-0.
Now, I mean, now he's falling behind 2-0. You might as well just put him on. I mean, you don't want to take the chance, and I think that's what Howell's decided. They were going to take 2 shots at it, 2 pitches out of the strike zone, and maybe the hitter would expand the zone.
Now we'll go to the intentional walk. O'Neill did have a base hit off of Prieto in the 4th inning, that smash to center field. He also struck him out.
Well, this is just the thing that Cecil needs to get going, because, you know, you've been struggling. Now this is like rubbing dirt into some wounds. This is the guy, Fielder, who's brought over here to drive in the big runs, has more home runs and RBIs than any player in the 90s. This might be a little wake-up call for Cecil.
Maybe thinks he's a little insulted, walking Paul O'Neill to get to Cecil Fielder.
Concentrate just a little bit more.
And Joe Torre saying Cecil Fielder has been trying to hit 5-run home runs. 6 of them here. Struck out 122 times this season already. It would be a good spot for Cecil. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Cecil Fielder at the plates. He was going for it.
Yeah, that's it. Go ahead.
He's looking for that 362 side right over there.
But you know what? He's a pretty good RBI guy. Look at this. Okay, that's 1. He just aired that out. He wanted to get loose on the first one. Oakland has no infielder on the right side of the diamond besides O'Neill. 3 infielders on the left side of the diamond.
1 strike count to Fielder. Oh, and he hits him.
Oh, that's an RBI for the big guy. He didn't want it that way. He didn't want it, but he'll take
one for the team. Don Baylor did for years. And it's 1-0 Yankees on the hit batsman. Ariel Prieto hits Cecil Fielder. Duncan scores. And the bases are still loaded.
Well, Well, that's, you know, you earned your RBI. This ball just gets away from him. I mean, that's almost...
Oh, look at Prieto.
Boy.
All that.
All the strategies come down to a bad pitch by a pitcher.
Yankees take a 1-0 lead here. We're in the top of the 6th. 2 out, bases loaded. Tino Martinez at the plate.
See Martinez just swinging over that hard slider from Prieto. We talked about in the California Angels series, 2 out base hits are what get you out of slumps. Good pitching performances and also 2 out RBIs.
This is the man who's been doing it for the last month. 0-1 count to Tino. There's a shot right to second base. Batista up with it over to McGuire, and the inning is over. But the Yankees do get 1 run on the hit batsman. Cecil Fielder hit, scoring Mariano Duncan. So at the end of 5 1/2, it is 1-0 Yankees.
New York Yankees baseball is brought to you by the incredible I-30 from Infinity. More flagship styling, space, and performance than you'd ever expect.
And we're in the bottom of the 6th inning. There's David Cone. He'll face Mike Bordick, Jose Herrera, and Tony Batista. 1-0 Yankees. 1 run, 4 hits for the Yankees. No runs, no hits so far for the Oakland A's.
60 pitches through 5 innings for David Cone.
Did you expect this?
This guy, I mean, Cone he's in a different league. He thrives on pressure. I mean, it's surprising. I mean, how well he's pitched through the first 5 innings.
That evens it up at 1-1 to Mike Bordick.
Yeah, you know, Michael Coney just mentioned, does it help that he's a little cuckoo? Well, all pitchers are a little cuckoo. They're a little off the wall. David thrives on this type of pressure.
High fly ball to O'Neill. And there's 1 away.
Just think about
I mean, you can thrive on pressure, and that's great, but your arm has to respond.
Oh, he's got a tremendous arm. I mean, look at the size of Cone. I mean, he's just a little guy.
50 pitches through 5. He didn't do that in the minor league starts.
60 pitches.
He didn't do that in the minor league starts.
Hey, those guys in AA, they swing the bat. But see, he's focused, he's concentrating, and he is making perfect pitches.
And how do you think Joe Torre, who we just saw, feels right now? Here's leadoff man Jose Herrera. He walked in the 1st inning, struck out in the 3rd.
Well, Joe Torre would feel a lot better if Wetland was activated off the DL and pitching like Wetland, because then you come into the Rivera-Wetland era. This would be a lot more comforting.
Wetland, by the way, will probably be activated, or will probably pitch on Friday, be eligible to pitch on Friday.
Right, that's what Bob Watson, the general manager, said, that he threw off the mound earlier before Stottlemyre and Watson, and they kind of made the decision, if everything stays the same, they'll activate him Friday.
You don't want to take a chance with the groin. 0-2 pitch to Herrera. David wastes 1, and it's 1-2. Herrera, one of these kids that 24 years old, as I said, came over in the Ricky Henderson deal from Toronto. Tools guy.
Yeah, he's got a little juice in his bat. The ball jumps off his bat.
There's a fly ball in the left. Darrell under it. Makes the 2nd out, and there's 2 away very quickly here in the 6th inning.
That's one of those scouting book positioning. Strawberry was down the left field line shading Herrera, and he hit it right to him.
Darrell still goes out just about every day working with Jose Cardinal on his outfield play. He's really improved. He's really improved the way where he holds the glove and his positioning and going back on balls particularly. That'll bring up Tony Batista.
Another hitter with the open stance.
Yeah.
Starts wide open and then tries to close it up back towards the pitcher. I think hitters have gone to this stance because it frees up both eyes. Look at his eyes now. They both can focus on the pitch.
0-1 count. Swing and a miss for strike 2. Batista from the Dominican Republic. He's really a shortstop, as I was saying earlier. Moved him to second base because of Bordick.
See, he never really gets closed, though, Susan. You see, he wants to close up and stride towards Cone, but that front foot did not really square up towards the pitcher.
So doesn't that stride actually make it a deficit against a guy like
Oh,
Cone?
yeah, it definitely would. If you start open, you got to come up close. Not too many guys can pull off the ball and be successful. And you would think with Coney now in the 2-strike, looking for a strikeout, may come sidearm.
1-2 the count. Misses outside. Cone's talking to himself a little bit.
See, maybe just a little misses with the breaking ball, but you see even Herrera's away. Anything away from him right now, he should be able to get him.
And he did, and we're through 6. 6 strikeouts for David Cone. No runs for the A's, and at the end of 6, 1-0 Yankees.
Welcome back. Yankees have a 1-0 lead going into the top of the 7th. Let's look at the last strikeout by David Cone. That's his 6th strikeout. Pretty good movement on that fastball, foul tip, and Coney's pumped into the dugout. A little congratulations from Pettit and Doc Gooden. Yeah, Coney's all business today, all business. And I welcome back Bobby Mercer to the booth.
Thank you very much, Rick Cerrone, and what a day it is for David Cone and the Yankees right now. The Yankees leading at 1-0. Dale Strawberry takes a call strike on the inside corner. Strawman has yet to make contact. He has struck out his only 2 times up as he leads off here in the 7th inning. Now it's strike 2, 0-2 as Prieto out in front of Strawberry. Charlie Hayes on deck, followed by Mariano Duncan. And the Yankees scored that 1 run in the 6th inning. David Cone with a no-hitter so far through 6 innings.
How could you ever think that
this is
he
the
would be
most
this
amazing
good?
thing I've seen in a long time. 72 pitches through 6 innings, so he will answer the bell in the 7th. And that'll even count up now. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Strawberry.
And Prieto just pitches on the wrong day, Bobby. He's been pitching well going into the 8th inning, his last 3 starts. But he just matched up with the aces of the other teams. Clemens and Chuck Finley and David Cone. He's pitched well.
He's fallen behind 3-2 now to Strawberry after going out in front 0-2. And Straw delivers this one foul left side, so he hangs tough. The Yankees scored the run in the 6th inning with a leadoff single to right field by Mariano Duncan. And Girardi followed up with a base hit. Jeter flying out. Bernie Williams grounded out, moving the runners over. Intentionally walked to O'Neill, and then the hit pitch. Hit batsman, that is, by Cecil Fielder. Straw around on the split-fingered fastball, strikeout. Number 5 for Prieto.
And that's 3 times for Strawberry today. That's the hat trick. Look at that slider or forkball down. And that is just an emergency hack. You just couldn't hold up on it.
I don't know if you picked this up or not, but I used to have a lot of problems in the daytime picking up the baseball. And if you'll take a look at the batter's eye beyond the 400 mark in dead center field as Charlie Hayes steps in, strike 1 to Charlie Hayes. I don't know if it's me or not, but it looks like you see that little tarpaulin out there. See how dirty and dusty and kind of white colored it is, and it's kind of moving with the wind? That's the batter's eye here at the Coliseum, and it is hard on a bright sunshiny day to pick the ball up. And if you watch these hitters, they don't look like they're having those
real good swings,
aggressive swings and good swings at some of these pitches right down the middle. Now that's just my observation.
No, you're exactly, and also the camera guys. Look at this. Does the ball come out of the camera's eye? No.
High and deep to left field. Giambi looking up, and it is gone. Charlie Hayes, a 1-out home run here in the 7th inning, and the Yankees lead it 2-0 with Charlie Hitman Hayes' first Yankee home run.
Yeah, obviously he was really bothered by that batter's eye. Right on cue, Charlie Hayes hits a home run. And that's a little cushion for the Yankees. 2-0 lead with Cone on the mound. And one of the few bad pitches that Prieto made today.
So Mariano, who has 1 for 2. And he tries to take a high fastball out of here, but misses that one. One more look at it.
Wow, he got up on top. I don't know. I think that was a changeup, Bobby. I think it was a high changeup.
Really?
Because he got out in front. I don't know. It looked like a high changeup to me, where he just didn't get it in good position.
If you're a hitter, that's where you want the changeups. It's high in your eyes.
And Charlie didn't miss it.
No, he didn't. He sent it a long ways. Past Bordick into left field. So Mariano with 2 base hits. He's 2 for 3. And Girardi, who is also 2 for 2, coming up.
The hit machine.
Boy, he is that.
We're going to take another look at the home run from behind home plate. Steinbach's outside. I think it's the changeup, because you see the bat head gets out in front of the plate. I don't know if he can do that on a high fastball. I just thought the way he took an approach at that. And look at this, the high wall in the outfield, but it makes the seats.
Well, we're going to have a pinch runner now for Mariano Duncan. Andy Fox, and a big smile on Hayes' face. Andy Fox will come in to run for Duncan. Fox was recalled from Norwich as the rosters expand here in September. So Andy Fox rejoining the Yankees after being sent down a couple of days ago. Back in uniform and running for Duncan. That'll bring up Girardi. 1 out here in the 7th inning. Yankees lead it 2-0. And Girardi sends one foul off to the right side. Nice piece of hitting by Joe Girardi in the 6th inning on a tough pitch as he delivered a base hit up the middle. So he's 2 for 2.
You see activity. Groom and is the left-hander, and Reyes the right-hander for the A's. Yeah, but it was a nice piece of hitting. Took the breaking ball right back up the middle off of Prieto.
If you are just tuning in, David Cone has pitched 6 innings and has a no-hitter going, as he will come out in the 7th inning. And so far, the Yankees lead the A's 2-0.
In his first start since May 2nd for the New York Yankees.
In his left field for a hit. So Girardi continues his hitting. Girardi 3 for 3 this afternoon, and the Yankees have 2 men on and only 1 out.
And that'll get a little slap on the head by Jose Cardinal. I like that. He gets down to first base, you whack him on top of the helmet. But a nice piece of hitting again by Girardi, and that'll bring out a trip to the mound by Bob Cluck.
Well, all I had to do was mention
the background,
about how tough it was to see the baseball.
Look at that. Nice piece of hitting on the ball inside this time.
And you can see that he's wearing number 25, so forget about that too. As he changed his number. Remember when they made a big deal
right.
about when Cecil came over here and he changed numbers with Cecil, and he put on number 25. Then he went into kind of a slump. And
well, he dropped from 317. That was the highest he was hitting this year. And came into today hitting 294 with 3 hits. He'll be right back up around 300. A little trip to the mound just to give the bullpen time to get loose. They got to get ready in a hurry. Tight ball game like this, you need that bullpen to get, 10, 12 pitches. They get an extra 8 when they come in to the ball game from the mound, but you got to get ready in a hurry if you're in the bullpen.
Jeter 0 for 3 this afternoon. It's a chance to hit with a couple of men on once again. He was up in the 6th inning when the Yankees had 2 men on. Flying out to center. Goes the opposite way. This will be a base hit. They'll wave around Fox. Girardi will go to third. The ball gets away from Herrera. And the Yankees have now extended their lead to 3-0. With Girardi stopping at third, it looked like that Willie was going to send him on home after that bobble in right field.
You're exactly right, Bobby. It looked like Willie was thinking about sending Girardi, but a nice piece of hitting by Jeter. Now you notice the ball from Prieto's getting up in the strike zone. The Yankee hitters are getting better swings at it. The bobble, and this is where Randolph was thinking about sending him. And that's a perfect example of just taking your eye off the baseball. Look at Fox coming hard, and he'll score. And then this is where Girardi, they're thinking about sending in Girardi, but that'll be it for Ariel Prieto. Just like that, you talk about the bad background, how it's tough on the hitters, and the Yankees were listening.
Well, it was tough up until the 6th and 7th inning when they finally got adjusted to that bad background. We're going to have a pitching change here in Oakland. And while the pitching change is being made, we'll be back right after these messages.